A nice bounce back today on the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin is up 5%, almost hovering around that $85,000 level. Obviously, there's been a lot of pain and a lot of uncertainty in the markets recently, but it does feel like the biggest part of this dip could have already played out. I don't think that we're going to start seeing low 70Ks or sub 70K prices like a lot of bears were talking about on the timeline, but you need to put a strategy together when to accumulate altcoins during this time period, because there is a time for downtrends and there is a time to start strategically DCAing. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing in this market right now to make sure that I'm positioned for the next leg up, because I do think the real alt season will occur whenever we see the back half of this year play out, but you need to time this correctly. So I will go over that and some of my top picks and things you can be doing to still make money and be positive ROI in this tough market. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. Like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more every day and every single week here on In the Game. We have you covered from all the alpha and all the top niches: gaming, AI, meme coins, RWA, and more. And of course, be sure to drop down and check out our sponsors in the description. We have our exchange partners, Blowfin, Bybit. We also have our sponsors, Moontropica, Funtico. We have Ledger, as well as Cradle Games and Medieval Empire. So check those out down below in the description. And let's just jump right into it, guys. Like I said, there's not going to be a lot to cover today, but I do want to show a little bit of numbers on the charts, as obviously Bitcoin took a 5% increase today. Some altcoins are bouncing off of these lows, and some of these altcoins are just criminally low priced. It does feel like the fear and greed index is at one of its lowest points that we have seen in quite a long time. That typically is the right time to be buying, but you want to have some confidence and you want to make sure that you're buying into good projects. So I'll talk about the only projects that I would really be DCAing into here in just a few minutes. We did see Rumble earlier this week purchase $17.1 million of Bitcoin, and their average price is at 91K. So they are technically down at this point in time on these levels. And look, I'm not going to say we're out of the weeds. I definitely don't think that we're about to go into up only season. We still have the tariff controversy going on, but the trade war stuff felt like it was recently priced in. So I think from the trade wars side of things, we could see the worst of it behind us, and we might start to see ourselves in this level, the accumulation phase, where we're just shopping between potentially low 80s and mid 80s, or even if we go into the high 80s, we might range in the 80,000 level here over the course of the following weeks or even month. And this could be the time to start scoping out which altcoins you want to be accumulating during this time period. Because look, obviously, we all called for alt season at some point in time. This was, everyone's thought process, right? But at the same time, meme coins completely ruined the altcoin market this time around. The amount of liquidity that went into Pump Fund and went into all these trading pairs on meme coins took all the liquidity away from memes. Everyone wanted the short hits. This time did not play out like alt seasons of 2021. So I think the latter half of this year, we're going to see altcoins and the market participants be more rewarded for holding quality alts and utility alts like we saw last cycle. So I do think we'll gear up towards an actual utility altcoin season later this year, but it is hard to kind of time up when you want to accumulate these things. For me, I'd be looking at levels on some of these top projects. So let's just look at Avalanche's chart real quick. I'm not going to talk too much about any particular coin today. I'm about to roll over some news and kind of my ethos on why I'm investing in certain ecosystems. But let's take a look at the all chart here on Avalanche, right? Avalanche at $19. We've only seen this price 3 times over the last year and a half. And this was in November of 2023. We saw this price in about September of 2022 after FTX collapsed. And then we also saw this price at about November of this year, about $20 was the price point here. So historically speaking, Avalanche is at a buy level here. Usually Avalanche gets bought up at this $19 level, and this would be an altcoin I am extremely confident in accumulating at these levels. Another one I'm going to go here and take a look at would be something like like a Superverse. Obviously, this one has been in quite a downtrend, but if we look here, this 40-cent level has been pretty key, around 50 to 40 cents. This has been an accumulation level on the charts really for the last, once again, year and a half, 15 months. This has been a pretty strong buy point here at about 40 cents. Looking at Echelon Prime's price, you guys know I love the Prime token. If we see here, I mean, this thing catapulted off $3 here, and it's really not gone this low since that time. I think $3.60 is a phenomenal buy price here, especially if you're willing to stake this for the upcoming prompt token. And you might be wondering, like, why are these the ecosystems that I am most focused on? And I'll go over that here in just a moment. I do want to look at one more here, and that being Ronin. If we look at the Ronin chart here, 80 cents is a pretty decent buy price just looking at the trend over the last couple of years. And these are some of the top ecosystems that I'm looking at. And look, gaming has been rough, and all of those were gaming coins. Even though Avalanche is an L1, it has a lot of gaming ties to it. I still am of the belief that gaming will have a crazy rally at this, at some point in the cycle. And I think games and ecosystems that integrate AI into it will have an even better run coming up. And look, we're seeing successes right now, as hard as it is to see through the lines. On-Chain Heroes has been absolutely crushing it. Their NFTs 20x from 0.2 ETH to about 4 ETH all-time highs. The #1 NFT collection on Abstract. There's 8,000 ETH in volume, $2 million in revenue. And this was kind of like a Ponzi-esque type of game, and it is by far the #1 application on Abstract. We have Off the Grid, who just had their big in-person event alongside Parallel just a couple weeks ago, and Prime is probably my top DCA in this market. Just to backtrack quickly, I think if I was DCAing right now, it's Avalanche, Prime, Ronin, Superverse. I think those 4 coins right now are easy buys at these levels. And I think, long term, those buy prices are going to look phenomenal when you see $19 on AVAX, $3.50 on Echelon Prime, and especially when people are buying Prime, gearing up for the prompt staking and the prompt airdrop, which people are going to buy that late. Once it's announced, that price is going to shoot up because more and more people are going to lock their Prime tokens. I think Ronin at 80 cents as well as Superverse at 44 cents are great levels of accumulation. And Off the Grid, they have their trios mode. Scump has been playing this like every single week. This has been awesome to see. His audience is very privy to this, and the player counts and the transactions have been super consistent. They have their solo mode out now. The Ronin ecosystem, of course, Off the Grid ties in with Avalanche. They're on the Avalanche blockchain. This is why I'm very bullish on AVAX, and I'm definitely bullish on whenever Off the Grid goes on chain. All the assets you're accumulating, you're going to be able to sell at some point, which is why gaming is so valuable in this market. What is the reason that I love Ronin? Look, Ronin has some of the most diverse but also flourishing ecosystems in all of Web3. Their chain has so much activity, and whilst a lot of people talk about the regions that they service for the most part don't trade with a lot of money, at the end of the day, when the bull run comes around and we see altcoins and particularly gaming coins go off, Ronin is going to be one of the category leaders. And look, gaming, like I said, is actually flourishing if you read between the lines. We see My Pet Hooligan coming to Avalanche, coming out with their own studio chain as well. These are guys from Pixar. This is a legit team that is putting together a chain to power their game on Xbox that is also backed by Arbitrum. You're seeing IGN coverage on this game. We see Beam nodes going live. If you bought Beam nodes when we talked about them a couple months ago, you can now start running your nodes and earn rewards in the Beam ecosystem. I think this is massive, massive news. We see Zai as well. I think Zai is dirt cheap. I think it's 7 cents or something like that at this point in time on the charts. But most importantly, for those node buyers, the nodes were $60, $40 to $60 at the time that we were talking about those. And I think those are going to end up ROIing very quickly. The first airdrop for node holders, the recent node sale for Sentry keys, are going live in the next couple of weeks. So you're going to start seeing ROI off of those. And then on top of that, guys, there's not only ways to make money DCAing, which I do think right now, if you have the liquidity to start planting a little bit of seeds, this is the time to do it. all of these coins, we really haven't seen this type of capitulation in some time. I mean, we're looking at 70% drops on certain coins, 60% drops on coins, 50% drops on coins like Echelon Prime, which is a completely legitimate ecosystem that continues to build and continues to push the narrative forward. So right now, it's like, how much cheaper do we need it to be for us to have confidence to accumulate? If you have a little bit of stable coins, I do think it might be worth allocating 15-20% into the market right now of what your stablecoin stack is, because some of these prices are just ridiculously cheap. And if you look throughout history, I mean, a lot of these are at lows that have been bought up every single time it has hit these levels. And then, of course, in this market, if you don't have liquidity, go play off the grid. Earn assets. You're going to be able to sell those when the market comes back around. Complete some of the tasks like we talked about on Wayfinder. You can just deposit into some certain wallets and you can earn the upcoming Wayfinder prompt token in the Prime ecosystem. Or you can go play around on Abstract with on-chain heroes. Just place some trades here and there, participate, interact with some of the apps in the ecosystem. Boom. You're going to be able to earn XP, which are going to go to future airdrops. Another few things you can do right now in this market. We have Gomble Games, and Gomble Games is one of the dominant studios in Asia. And this is their Web3 arm, as you can see here, of South Korea's leading game studio with 100 million users, backed by Binance Labs. Binance Labs at this point in the market is not putting their name or their capital behind many gaming projects. So launch pool number 3 is your chance to earn the G token. So free opportunities to make money in this market is really what you should be prioritizing if you don't have liquidity. If you do have liquidity, I think planting a percentage of that liquidity into some of these altcoins that are traditionally at levels where they get bought up is a very good proposition. And of course, in RWA, I think AI goes unseen. Like, AI had a recent run. We'll just run through narratives really quickly before I end off the show. And look, it's an uncertain market. So if you're putting stablecoins in, don't put your entire stablecoin stack in, but I do think there's great buy prices out there. If we're looking at the AI market, these are so down bad. I mean, we have Neural AI sitting at $25 million market cap. This was a $110 million market cap a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Humans AI was a $200 million market cap. Node AI was a $100 million market cap. These are great buys. If you want to keep it safer, however, I mean, Tau is at 255. If we're looking at the chart here, this is the lowest level that we have seen since September of 2024. And then this bounced all the way back up to $620 just a month later. So I'm not saying, look, these are immediately going to recover, but if you look historically, some of these coins are just at a really good buy price. And then if we're looking at RWA, just quickly, I think that Mantra has just ran so much. It's hard to justify DCAing into Mantra at these levels, although I think Mantra is by far the #1 RWA coin in this market. But I do like World Mobile Token at these levels. We've talked about this one in previous videos. Running a network. They just joined the Wi-Fi Alliance. They have alongside like AT&T and all the biggest global providers. And now World Mobile Token is World Mobile Chain, the first dedicated blockchain for telecom. It's designed for DePIN and built for builders. So I do like World Mobile Token, and especially under 100 mil circulating market cap. I think that's a pretty good proposition as well. So I think we only really gave you 6 tokens during this video that I would look at DCAing as of today. And that was Super, Prime, Ronin, AVAX. And then I would be looking maybe at RWA or DePIN, something like a World Mobile Token. Like I said, I think Ohm has ran a little too much to even justify DCAing right now. And I would look at Tau and AI. That's really it at this point in time that I would be comfortable to DCA. And I think you have to be strategic with how you allocate your capital and maybe not go all into the market if you have some stable coins at this point in time. Just DCA in clips and you'll be able to come out on top of the market, especially whenever this thing turns around, which I think it will. Like, I can't say that I'm overly bearish, but I don't think the bull time period is going to come very rapidly. So I think you have time. And if you are feeling like you don't have liquidity to DCA these dips, look, most people don't. So just give it time. And honestly, now where the market is where it is, if we just were to chop sideways for a little bit, we're in an accumulation time zone. It gives all of us more time to stack our biggest bags and our highest conviction holdings to be able to come out on top whenever this bull market truly does unfold. So guys, like the video down below in the description as well. Check out all of our sponsors and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to, still grow, bull market, bear market, doesn't matter. We keep the videos coming. So if you enjoy the content, support down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends. And of course, and please, in this climate, stay bullish, my friends.